everybody, Tina here with Loving Life's Little Blessings, and it's day 2 of our 4th of July / military cards. And so this is just a like a tan piece of paper. This happens to be crumb cake, and I cut it at 5.5, and so I'm just going to be able to open it this way. So I've already done a lot of the cutting for this card, and all I did was I took a piece of blue paper, blue cardstock, and I cut it at 3.5 by 3.5. So then I have another layer that is 3.25 by 3.25, and it is in the crumb cake as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp first on this card. And the only other element that I have for this card is that I just used my star punch again. So when I think of 4th of July cards and military cards and you know, USA themed cards, country themed cards, I just think of stars, and so that's what I tend to do. And so that's probably, you guys are probably going to see a lot of stars in this series, but that is just because that is really what I think of. So I'm going to take and stamp first, and then I will glue everything down. So I'm going to use a stamp that says welcome home. Any of these cards that I'm doing this week, you could easily swap out for Happy 4th of July. I just am using some different sentiments for you guys just to, you know, give you a little bit of variety. But any of these cards could easily be stamped with Happy 4th of July. So I'm going to use a red ink, if I can get it. It's just my kids playing around out there. It's close to bedtime and they're running off some energy. So I'm using a red ink to stamp, and I just dropped it. Alright, I'll cut another piece of paper. Hold on, let's get another piece of crumb cake and I will recut it, and then we'll stamp again. I did another piece of cardstock, and then we just stamped right there on the bottom. So now I'm going to take my blue piece and my crumb cake piece. I'm going to layer them together, and I'm going to put them just like this. And actually I think I'm going to add a red piece. So I'm going to layer it 3 times. Okay, so you can see now that I have just layered them up. Red, blue, and then crumb cake, and then I'm taking my Stampin' Up! Writer marker that matches the color paper I'm using, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some stitching all the way around this card. Alright, so now I did my faux stitching around my card, and the way I do my faux stitching is I do a dash and then a dot, and then a dash and then a dot, and that's just faux stitching is something that I've done since I started paper crafting like 15 years ago, and I don't know why, just that's the way I do it, and maybe that's the way I was showed to do it, I don't know, but that's the way I do it. So I did the stitching around the outside, and then I did the stitching around this part. So now I've just taken my star punch, and I've punched 2 each of red, white, and blue. And that's how they'll go on there. And then what I'll do is I'm going to take this Stickles. This is, it looks like it's in the larger container, so it doesn't have the name of it, but it looks like it's Xmas Red, which is what I tend to like to use. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that right on Welcome Home. Alright, so there is our second card for our 4th of July military themed card series, and I'll be back tomorrow with card number 3. So thanks guys for coming by, hanging out with me, and I will talk to you tomorrow.